Cool. So we're going to start with some definitions and we'll continue from there. So markets are a place where buyers and sellers can meet. Yeah?
Yep.
To exchange goods and services. So the buyers demand stuff and the sellers supply stuff. Okay. So demand is the quantity of goods and services that people are willing and able to buy at a given price. And supply is the quantity of goods and services that people are willing and able to sell at a given price. Okay.
Yep.
We can say firms, the quantity of goods and services that firms are willing and able to sell at a given price. So it's the same definition as demand, but just change those words. Okay. For each of these, we need to know the definition, the slope, and the factors. Okay. So we've done the definition. Let's do the slope. So is demand upward sloping or downward sloping?
Demand, will it be upwards?
Downward sloping.
Oh, okay, downwards.
And supply is upward sloping. So you can remember D for down, or you can remember the reason, okay? So the reason demand is downward sloping is when would you want to buy more stuff? When prices are high or when prices are low?
Oh, when prices are low.
So they have an inverse relationship. When prices are low, people are more willing and able to buy a given item. Okay. When would you be more likely to sell something? When something is cheap or if something's expensive? When would you want to sell it?
Oh, when something is more expensive?
Yeah. So that's the profit motive. Okay. The supply is upward sloping because of the profit motive. At higher prices, people are more willing and able to sell something. Okay. But if you need to explain it, just talk about the willing and able to, and then this is common sense. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Let's talk about shifts. Sorry.
You know, with the graph,
yeah.
You know the label for the x-axis. What would that be again? Is that aggregate?
The x-axis is quantity.
Oh, okay.
And the y-axis is price.
Yep.
Okay. Aggregate is only in macro, but let's ignore that for now.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go into more detail with demand. So if the demand curve shifts, it means that at a given price, the quantity, so if demand has shifted, then the quantity of goods and services that people are willing and able to buy at that given price, P1, has increased. So something stays as £10. What are the reasons why more people would want to buy it? Okay, that's what the factors of demand are. Okay?
Okay.
And the word is pirates. That helps me remember it. Cool. So the P is population. the I is income, the A is advertising, the S is season. So these ones are quite easy, so I'll go through those first. So if population increases, then even if milk is still £1, the number of people who are willing and able to buy milk would increase purely because there's more people in the population.
Okay.
If an Xbox stays as £500, then if income increases, then more people are willing and able to buy an Xbox, even if price doesn't change.
Okay.
Okay. If the advertising is better for a box of chocolates, more people will be willing and able to buy that box of chocolates.
Okay.
Seasons, ice cream. If ice cream is £1 in the winter and in the summer, more people will be willing and able to buy ice cream in the summer because it's in season. The T is trends or tastes and fashions. So if something's in fashion, then people will buy it. If something's out of fashion, then demand will go down.
Okay.
At the same price. Then the other two are a bit harder. Expectation. So this is like, will there be a sale in the future? Or will it be needed in the future? Lastly, the R is related goods. That includes complements and substitutes. So these things can also affect the demand curve. So like what's going on in the Xbox market will affect the PlayStation market. Or what's going on in the PlayStation market will affect the PlayStation controllers market.
Okay, so basically, so if I would summarize, increased population is increased demand, so increased quantity. Increased income means increased demand, means increased quantity.
Related goods is dependent on if it's a complement or substitute, but we'll go over that in more detail later. So skip that one.
And advertising, more advertising means obviously more people want to get it, so they'll have to produce more, an increased quantity as well.
This is the quantity that people are willing and able to buy. It's not about how much ends up being sold, but yeah, from the buyer's side, better advertising. It doesn't have to be more. It could be better advertising, and it leads to more demand.
Okay.
So all of these factors cause demand to shift.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the T and the S. So if something's in trend or fashion, or if it's the season for ice cream, then demand will change. And if it's expected that something will be useful in 6 months' time, then demand will change.
Okay.
Cool. Let's repeat the same thing now for supply. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So now we have to put our seller's hat on. So this is basically saying what factors would cause you to be more willing and able to sell something at the same price. Okay.
Okay.
So if you sell jewelry, what would cause you to sell more? What would cause you to be more willing and able to sell at the same price? So it can't be that prices are higher. Other factors. Okay. So the word for that, you can either use PC twins or Pinswick, Pints WC. So I'll say PC twins. Okay. So the W is weather. So if the weather is better to make whatever you're trying to make, then that could cause you to sell more or be willing to sell more. Okay.
Yeah.
The T is technology. So if you happen to have better technology, then you'd be more willing and able to sell because your ability to make something and sell it increases with better technology and better weather. And also with better productivity. so of your staff. So if your chefs become better at cooking, then you're more willing and able to sell. Okay.
Okay.
In demand, we said the P was population. So that meant just simply if population increased, then the demand for milk would go up. In the same way, N is number of firms. So just simply, if the number of jewelry shops increased, then supply would also increase because there's more people trying to sell jewelry.
Okay.
So demand is what people are trying to buy or want to buy, and supply is what people want to sell or are trying to sell. And then C is cost of production. So if the cost of your tools, like the drill, went down, then you'd be able to buy a drill more easily and make stuff. Okay. So then if cost of production went down, your supply would go up, meaning your willingness and ability to sell would go up.
Okay.
Okay. And then the I and the S, we're going to go into more detail later on, but I'll just say it for now. It's indirect taxes and subsidies. Basically, in summary, subsidies are payments given to you, so they'll support your business. Indirect taxes take money away from your business, so supply goes down.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's go over PED now. Okay. So PED is, wait, do you know the formula? Don't worry. It's percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay. So percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in price.
Yeah, price. Yeah.
PES is percentage change in supply over percentage change in price. So it's always the third letter divided by the first letter. YED is percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in the Y, which is income.
Just change.
Sorry, that's a Y. And then the last one is XED, which is the hardest one.
XED. In
All of these are formulas, and you say the formula if they ask for the definition, but you can say it in words, okay? All you have to do is say the responsiveness of da 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 given a change in da da da. So PED is the responsiveness of demand given a change in price. PES is the responsiveness of supply given a change in price. Does that make sense?
not really, I can't lie.
Wait, what part? The definition part?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so basically you can just say it in words rather than as a formula. So you're just seeing, so PED is the responsiveness of demand
Yeah.
given a change in price. That's just the definition.
Oh, okay. So just defining each equation.
Yeah, like PES would be the responsiveness of supply given a change in price. That's what these calculations are checking. Basically, they're seeing what would happen to demand or supply or income or like whatever given a change in something else.
So for PED, it'll be the responsiveness of demand or price given a change in demand.
It has to be the top one given a change in the bottom one.
Okay, so for PED, it'll be the responsiveness of demand given a change in price.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, and then so on for the rest.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Cool. Let's go into way more detail now. So let's go into PED. So so demand is always downward sloping. Okay. But it's basically telling us how downward sloping is it. Okay.
Yeah.
So which one of those graphs do you think is elastic and which one do you think is inelastic? The flat one or the steep one? Or
Would
you're
the
not
steep
sure?
be elastic and the flat will be inelastic?
No, the flat one is elastic.
Oh, okay. They're both from D1.
They you would never have them on the same diagram. I just tried to show the difference.
Oh, okay.
This wouldn't be a real diagram. It's just the slope of the line. So wait, let me know if I'm going too fast. I'll slow down here. But basically, elastic means so you know how PED is the percentage change of demand over the percentage change in price.
Yeah.
If something's elastic, when price goes up a bit, people stop buying the thing. If something's inelastic, when price goes up, people keep buying the thing.
Oh, okay.
So elastic, if your rubber band is elastic, it's very responsive. Yeah, it can move
Mm.
a lot. Okay, so
Yeah.
if something's elastic, when price goes up, people reduce their demand a lot.
Yeah.
If something's inelastic, when price goes up, people just reduce their demand a bit. It has to go down because that's just the law of demand. We said already, whenever price goes up, demand always goes down. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But elasticity is asking us, does it go down a lot or a bit?
Sorry, what
Okay.
did you say?
Demand always goes down when price goes up, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But elasticity is asking us or telling us, does it go down by a lot or down by a little bit? Okay.
Down, okay. Yeah.
That's what we're trying to measure, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So we can remember this sand pit. You don't have to remember every single one, but a lot of them are common sense. So remember like at least 3 or 4 of them.
Mm.
So can you think of any things in real life that the price will go up and you'll still buy it,
Um,
or people would still buy it?
say like petrol.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because it's kind of a necessity.
Mm.
The same with energy. If your energy bill goes up, you wouldn't change how much energy you use, if possible, because you need it. Okay.
Mm.
Can you think of anything else
Um, the
that people keep on buying even if price goes up?
would you say like I guess bills like a water bill or light bill.
Yeah, good. But that just comes under necessity. So I was gonna say something like cigarettes. If the price went up, people would still buy it. That's because they're addictive.
Oh, okay.
What about something that if the price goes up, you'll stop buying? Can you think of anything like that?
Maybe like mm, demerit goods maybe.
Uh, Maybe not really a great example. What about something like strawberries? If strawberries became really, really expensive, would you keep buying them?
No.
Why? What are some reasons why you might stop buying them?
It's not really a necessive good. Like you don't really need it to survive.
Necessity, yeah, good.
Um.
And also because there's a lot of substitutes, like you could buy raspberries instead.
Okay.
Okay, so that's also another thing. So they're not addictive, they're not necessary, and they have substitutes.
Yeah.
So it might not be all of these factors, but you need to basically know these three. Yeah.
Alright.
And you can use them like depending on the question. The other factors are also, so D is durability.
Mm.
So that basically means if the price of TVs go up, you might be more likely to still buy it because a TV is going to last you 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Or if you buy a gaming chair and the price was to go up, you might still buy it only because of the fact that, yeah, the price has gone up, but it's going to last you a very, very long time.
Mm.
Like if you buy a dining table, it might last you 10 years.
Yeah.
So then you might be more inelastic.
Okay.
The T is time. So you just have to remember that everything becomes more elastic over time. And then the P and the I is actually one word. It's proportion of income spent on the good. That basically means how cheap is it? So if the price of Coca-Cola went up by 10%, it would go up from 60p to 66p. Would you stop buying it or would you keep buying it?
Uh, I mean, I'll still keep buying it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If the price of a home went up from 600,000 to 660,000, that could stop you from buying it. Okay.
Mm.
Because you wouldn't be able to afford it anymore
Yeah.
because you have a certain budget. So they're both 10% increases, but the 10% increase of a Pepsi is different to a 10% increase of a home. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions?
Nah, that's fine.
Cool. I've got notes typed up, so you don't have to write down everything. Don't worry if you miss something. Just make sure you understand it.
You know the I is that income spent, right? Or is that
Yeah,
that?
it buys one thing, so it's just like a bit of a cheat for the word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that counts as one factor, not two.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So PED is about if price goes up, do I keep buying it? Do I stop buying it?
Mm.
Now, PES is about if price goes up. Wait, first of all, when price goes up, what happens to supply?
What's that? What happens to supply? Does supply decrease,
No, increase.
increase? Price goes up.
Supply is
Okay,
upward sloping, yeah.
yeah, yes. Okay, yeah.
And also, if you think about it, in your business, when price goes up, are you willing and able to sell more or sell less?
The supply that goes up, would you able to sell more, sell less?
No, I said when price goes up, would you want to sell more or less?
Sell more.
Exactly, to make most of the profit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, how responsive is supply? So when price goes up, does supply go up by a lot or go up by a bit? Okay, that's what PES is about.
Okay.
Okay. So PED was about if price goes up, does demand go down by a lot or by a little bit? That depends on how addictive or how necessity it is, right?
Mm.
PES is about if price goes up, can I supply loads more or can I only sell a bit more?
Okay.
Okay. So this word is a bit dead, it's a bit forced, but let's go through it anyway. Oh wait, we haven't even done. Wait, hold on 1 second. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll give a couple of examples before we go through the factors. So let's think of like a tutor like me. If the price of tuition went up, and I was doing one-to-one lessons, I'd be able to sell more lessons or do more lessons because there's only a certain number of hours each day, right?
Yeah.
So that would basically say that I'm kind of inelastic. Um, if I had a class, then if there was a lot of demand, then I could just double up and make classes of 2 or 3 or 4 people.
Mm.
So then I would be kind of elastic. If we think of a taxi driver can only do one journey at a time. So if price goes up, they might do they might make more money, but they can't sell more quantity just because price goes up.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, they can only do the set hours of journeys that they can, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, if YouTube had a lot of people asking for advertisers on their videos, then all they would have to do is just say, yeah, cool, we'll put 2 ads per video rather than 1 ad per video.
Mm.
Or if Netflix had a massive increase in demand, then Netflix could just sell more subscriptions, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Netflix would be very elastic. So with your business, if a lot of people were queuing up to buy your item, then there would be some factors which means that you can sell more, and some factors which still restricts you to some extent.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So first of all, let's just get the T out of the way. The T is time, but that's just because everything becomes more elastic over time. Now let's think about the real thing. So S is stocks. So stocks is just what you have in your cupboard ready to sell. So when you go to Sainsbury's and you're looking for a certain type of chocolate and you can't see it on the shelf, you can ask the staff and sometimes they'll have it in the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
So those are your stocks. So if you have stocks, then you can easily increase supply when needed. The C is spare capacity. So that's why I said this one's a bit confusing because of the letters. But spare capacity basically means, let's say that you're working 1 hour a week, making jewelry or something like tutoring 1 hour a week. And all of a sudden you have a lot of people asking you for jewelry or for tutoring. If you're only doing 1 hour per week, you have a lot of hours left in the week. So that would be your spare capacity.
Okay.
Or if you're making pizza and you have a lot of dough left over, then that's spare capacity. Okay.
Okay.
So the more spare capacity you have, the more stocks you have, the more time you have, they make your supply more elastic. They make you more able to respond when needed to changes.
Mm-hmm.
The S is a bit of a hard word to remember, but it's the one that actually makes the most sense. So it's substitutability.
Yeah.
Of factors. So the factors of production are self, capital, enterprise, land, and labor. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. So if your factors are substitutable, it means things like, let's say you're a card shop So you make birthday cards and Christmas cards and wedding cards and stuff like that. Christmas is coming, so there'll be a lot of people asking for Christmas cards. I can use the same paper from birthday cards and just use them for Christmas cards instead to keep up to the demand and the changes. Or if I have milk, I can use that same milk to make cheese or to make milkshakes, depending on the demand.
Oh, okay.
On the other hand, so the L stands for labor. So if I'm in a pizza shop and there's a lot of people ordering pizzas and my chefs are making all the pizzas they can, my waiter is not substitutable to become a chef. The waiter can't transform into a chef. That's not possible, right? So that's something that's not substitutable. So that would make supply more inelastic.
Okay.
Cool. We have to do 4 more things. We have to do the importance of PED. I don't remember the E, but don't worry about that. We have to do the importance of what PED, PES, and we need to do XED and YED. Okay.
Yep.
Let's start with YED.
Yeah, what was the E in sex, by the way?
I actually can't remember, so I just skipped it, but it's not that important.
Fair enough.
It will be in my notes, so I'll send them after.
Yeah.
But for all of these, I purposely they teach you like 5 or 6 for each of them. But if it's multiple choice, you probably need to look out for all of them. But if it's a essay or a question, you can just pick your favorite 2 or 3 and just explain them. So you don't need to know every single one of them off by heart.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So like if it's PED, I automatically think, is it a necessity? Is it addictive? Like that should be enough to make a good answer. Cool. YED is how does demand respond given a change in income? Okay. So some things, if income goes up, demand goes up. Some things, if income goes up, then demand goes down. Okay. So if you got a raise, what would you buy more of? What would you buy less of?
Would I buy more a raise? Would I buy more, I guess, demerit goods, I think?
Don't worry about demerit and merit. Just think about real life examples.
Would I buy more like necessities, basically, like more food for the house and so on?
Yeah, that's one thing good. But let's say your income let's say you win the lottery, what would you buy more of?
What about more of? I don't know, like
What type?
clothes,
Yeah, good.
yeah,
Like designer clothes?
yeah,
Or maybe just nicer clothes?
yeah, nice clothes.
What would you buy less of? What would you stop buying and swap for other stuff?
I guess like lower quality goods, basically.
Good. So that would be stuff like bus tickets. And this would be stuff like taxi rides. Okay. So these are luxury goods. And these are inferior goods. Just because of the maths, those are the names. So when income goes up, you buy less of it, then it's called an inferior good in economics. When income goes up and you buy more of it, that's called a luxury good in economics. So the luxury good, if remember the equation, so the equation was YD equals percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in income. So if income goes up and demand goes up, then YED is more than 1 or more than 0, but it's probably more than 1. because demand will go up a lot for luxury goods.
Oh, okay.
If income goes up but the demand goes down, then YED is less than 0.
Let me just get that down real quick.
And then some goods, if income goes up, demand will just go up a bit. Yeah, nothing special, and it won't go down. So those would be things like phone chargers or tissues or just random stuff that has nothing to do with your income. But if your income goes up or your income goes down, you still need to buy tissues, right? Cool. So those are normal goods. And that's when YED is between 0 to 1. So after this, you should do 2 things. Number 1 is read over the notes, make sure you understand everything, and make sure you remember the important bits. And then number 2 is just to practice questions, which we can do together.
All right, then.
But after you do that, you should understand this topic.
Cool. So you're saying that the YED is less than 1.
YED is more than 1 for luxury.
Oh, okay, more than
YED
1.
is less than 0 for inferior. And YED is like somewhere between 0 and 1 for normal goods.
Goods. So YED equals 1 basically.
For which one?
This one.
Sorry?
Huh?
For which one?
The last one.
Between 0 to 1.
Okay.
So it could be like 0.4 or 0.9 or 1 or 0.
Yeah, got that.
The last one's like the hardest, so it's XED. So we already said it's the percentage change in demand for good 1 divided by the percentage change in demand for good 2. Wait, the price for good 2. You wrote this already, so you don't have to write the formula again. But let's understand this better now.
Yeah.
So if the price of a random good goes up, for some things, the demand for the other thing would go up as well. Okay. For some things, if the price of the good goes up, the demand for the other good will go down. So the only thing is, if it's unrelated, XED will be 0. But otherwise, the other relationships are substitute goods and complementary goods. Okay.
Yeah.
So for substitute goods, if the price of an Xbox went up, what would happen to the demand for PlayStation?
Would it go down?
If the price of Xbox goes up,
Oh, the demand of places will go up.
Yeah. So you could put a up arrow on both. So if you calculated it like, let's say 10% over 10%, it's positive. So substitute goods, the XED is more than 0.
Okay.
And then complementary is the opposite, but let's go through an example. If the price of Xbox went up, what would happen to the demand for Xbox controllers?
The demand for Xbox controllers.
Yep.
Um,
So we can go step by step. So first, if the price of Xbox went up, the demand for Xbox itself would go down.
yeah.
And then what would happen to the demand for Xbox controllers?
Would it go down as well?
Yeah. So complementary goods, the XED is negative.
All right, cool.
Okay. Cool. Let's talk about the importance of all of these different elasticities. So let's start with PE. Okay, let's go backwards because it's in order. So XED, nothing special. It just tells us if two things are substitutes or complements. Okay, so you don't have to write that if it's obvious now. And YED tells us, or it tells firms that if incomes go up, that they'll buy more or less of our good. Okay? So if it's inferior or luxury, it helps us with that. It helps us predict what we'll buy more of or less of if our incomes change. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So PED and PS are more interesting. So PES, what did that tell us? When we were talking about PES, what were the examples that we were going through? What does that tell us?
PES. Were we going through like what was it again? We went through.
So it was about the taxi driver or the restaurant. What would happen if price went up? Would they be able to sell more, or would they
Oh
struggle
nah,
to sell?
because with the taxi driver, even if the price went up, he would struggle to obviously get more money because he can only do work a set amount of hours.
Yeah, it helps us to see if firms can supply more when price goes up. There's nothing that fancy, to be honest, about this so far. It's just repeating. PED is the most fancy one, so it can tell us something quite important. When something is inelastic, so what was the obvious examples of inelastic goods?
Inelastic goods.
Yeah, for PED.
Oh, would it be like petrol?
Yeah. So if they know that petrol is inelastic, what are they going to do to the price? Are they going to keep it low or keep it high?
Did the price keep it low, keep it high? Would it keep it high?
Yeah. That's because they know that people will keep on buying it.
Yeah.
People will keep on buying inelastic goods at high prices. So first of all, it can tell customers to be careful, but it can tell firms can exploit them. Okay. And if something's elastic, then it tells firms, be careful, this thing's elastic. If you raise your price too much, nobody will buy your item. So strawberries, if people tried to make too much money selling strawberries, people would stop buying them because people could buy raspberries instead. Okay, but energy prices are really high and there's nothing we can do about it. So it allows firms to exploit customers.
Okay.
Total revenue equals price times quantity. Okay, so your revenue that you bring into your business would be the quantity of the stuff you sell times by the price of it. Okay.
Okay.
So if you think of something inelastic, if the price goes up, quantity barely goes down even a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So total revenue will go up. For strawberries, if the price goes up, okay, quantity will go down a lot because people will buy raspberries. So what would happen to total revenue?
Would it go down?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's what happens. So firms will look at total revenue. They'll see, depending on PED, this is what happens to my total revenue. Therefore, I should exploit customers or I should be nice to customers.
Okay. Yeah, that's calm there. Yeah.
Let's look at some application now.
Oh, sorry, what's the importance of YED as well?
It just tells us if it's a luxury or inferior. It can inform us how we'd react. It can inform firms as well, how people react when they have higher or lower incomes. It's nothing fancy, to be honest.
Okay.
You can just use the factors to help you for all of them for the importance. But if it's PED, then you can talk about revenue. A demand curve is drawn on the assumption that, so what's true about every single demand curve? What do we know about every single demand curve? Is it upward sloping or downward sloping?
The market is it downward sloping?
Yeah, so A is the correct answer. Okay. Cool. The cross elasticity of demand between good X and Y is positive. So are they substitutes or complements? And try and think about it.
So that's the deal demand between the goods. Does that mean that it's above one?
So you'd have to really think about the equation. So XED is percentage change in demand of good A given a change in price of good B. So if the price of something went up, positive is when the other thing goes up as well. So was it Xbox and PlayStation?
Yeah.
Or was it Xbox and controllers? Which one matches this scenario better? Take your time and think about it carefully. Don't try and guess it.
Okay. So demand of a one would be, I think Xbox and Xbox controllers, right? Because
So
they
you're
did.
saying if the price of Xbox went up, the demand for Xbox controllers would go up.
Oh no, so it'd be Xbox PSR. I'll say because if
That's
the
what you have.
demand of Xbox went up, then
So is the
yeah,
answer substitute or complement?
would it be substitute?
Yep, correct. So you can memorize that, or whenever you see a question, you just work it out like that.
Oh, okay.
Which of these factors means that PES will be low?
Right, particularly good amount of PS is below. Let me see. The good question for substitutes. See this one. So change supply. Supply given the change in price. Would it be C?
Okay. So it's definitely not C. That's something to do with PED. Okay. Substitutes, that's also to do with PED.
Yeah.
Complements is also to do with PED. Okay, so it's this one. Also, we said that the T was time. That makes everything more elastic. So if there's less time, it would make something less elastic.
Oh, and because I was thinking like supply change the supply, because of change the supply, given a change in price, I was thinking if the price went up, then the supply obviously, well, the supply would go up, but then thinking like demand would go. Oh, okay, now, but yeah, I hear that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, basically, whenever you see the question, you have to think of PC Twins or Sandpit or Pirates. That's how it works.
Oh, okay.
So like this one, no, hold on. Let's do one more. Hold on. So this one, which of the following combination is most likely to cause demand to shift and supply to shift? Okay. So for supply, we have to look for PC twins. Okay. And for demand, we have to think of pirates. So one of the answers should be for pirates causing demand to go up, and one of the answers should be for PC twins for supply to go up. So if interest rates fell, would that affect demand or supply or none?
Interest rates fell, would it expect supply or demand? Um, Interest rates, would it affect demand?
Yeah, would demand go up or down?
Would it go down because there's high interest rates?
It says a fall in interest rates. So yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
A relaxation in planning restrictions, would that cause supply to go up or down?
A relaxation in planning restriction. Would the supply go up because obviously firms can
Yeah.
operate more
So
easily?
far it seems like A is correct. Let's go through the other ones. Let's look at D. A rise in incomes. So that's the I in pirates. So demand would go up. And the rise in wages is about the cost of production. So supply would go down. Yeah. So demand up, supply down. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A fall in the price of rented accommodation. So then the demand for, I think this was for, what's this one for? Houses. If rented accommodation became cheaper, then the demand for houses would become lower. Okay.
Okay.
And raw materials is the cost of production, right? You need to buy energy and stuff. So supply would go up. Okay, so you basically work through demand and supply for all of them. So the answer was A.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we leave it there for today?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Wait, let me turn the recording. I wasn't even recording this whole. Well, it was. It's recording now.
Um.
Turn it off 1 second.